must be like the glimpse that you get at human psychology when you're, because I never worked at Buds, I went through it, but I never saw it from the other side.
Yeah.
The glimpse at human psychology of what people are capable of and what breaks them, and that's got to be that's got to leave a mark.
Well, absolutely, and you really learn a lot. I mean, now you and I go through it, but you go through it is different. You're experiencing it, but when you have an opportunity to watch class after class after class. I just remember, my first Hell Week class, and this is Monday night of Hell Week. So they start off at Sunday. They've been at it for about 22 hours, 23 hours. They're having their evening meal, and the class, outside, and there's a couple of students staying behind in the chow hall, putting the chairs back into the table. Now I thought that this was somewhat odd, so I'm sitting there with the instructors having dinner. I said, so what are these guys up to? Yeah, they're just waiting for the rest of the class to leave so they can quit. And it was true. So you could just see, but what it was is nobody ever quit in the evolution. Everybody quit before the evolution in anticipation of what was going to happen. And just now, you can argue whether or not it is the most demanding physical course in the military. If it's not, it's close. All right, so I won't argue with anybody. But I will tell you this: it is a far more psychological program than it is a physical program, because it's designed to keep you off foot, and the standards are raised and raised and raised, or you're told that this is going to be the evolution today, and then they change it, but specifically. Can you adjust to that? Can you adjust to that? So it is most of the people who quit. No, I had a 3.5-hour briefing today down there with our teammates, an update on what the community's up to, and Beef Dreschler gave me the pitch, and Beef just took over the center on Friday, and they bring in close to 900 students a year to get 180 out. 187 is his demand signal, and 900. So it's still, in spite of everything that we've done in preparation, as you said, when you went through, nobody knew. When I went through, it was a Trivial Pursuit question, But now these guys are prepared. They know what it's doing, and I said to them today, what is it? They self-select. They raise their hand, and we lose a couple from academics, we lose some from pool comp, but the vast majority of it, this is not for me. And when I used to get the young men in the, now I was not an instructor, and I would get them all after the instructors talked about Hell Week. I'd go in there and I would just talk to these guys, and Marcus talks about that in his book. I just said, look, it's as simple as this, guys. Every one of you guys can make it through. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. I mean, you've already been here now for several weeks. If you're not going to make it, you're the one who decides you're not going to make it. It's not going to be us at all. And, it's as simple as this, guys. I mean this sincerely. The secret to life is just don't quit. Just don't quit. I said, and don't doubt yourself. These guys, they doubt themselves, but it's, why am I here? And I used to say that when they first came, Buds is not the SEAL team. Buds is Buds. It is where you need to spend 26 weeks to get where you want to go. But don't even think for a second that this is SEAL team. But I will tell you this, you put up with this for 26 weeks and you get to that SEAL team, it will make everything that you did here worthwhile. Trust me.
I was down there a little while ago, and I was walking around, and there was just with one of my friends that works there, and there's 100 helmets by the bell. 100 helmets by the bell. And he says, you know what? I said, that's a lot of quitters. This, whatever it was. 2 weeks in, I said, that's a lot of quitters. And he says, you know what? Every one of those guys is a stud.
Yeah.
And he's basically referencing compared to us when we went through.
Yeah.
When I went through, I thought if you did a pull-up workout where you did 30 or 40 pull-ups, that was a pretty good workout. And you don't realize when you get to buds, you're going to do 300 or 400 or 500. You just didn't know. We didn't know back then. But every one of these kids now, they're studs, physical studs, but they still quit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But the difference, though, physically, I would say, is, when I went through Eric Olson, Bill McCraven was 2 classes behind me. The way Eric put it, and I think this is right, back then, it depends on your parents were if you're going to make it through buds, because it was endurance. Everybody had to run forever, and everybody had to swim forever back then. So it was a different type of body type. Now, not everybody looks like you, John, but as you know, when I took over the center and these young men lined up next to the pool in just their swimsuits, it was a completely different physique on those young men. But we were preparing them for different things, as opposed to no long-range patrols, no 10 to 12 days in the field, no 13-hour swims. You're going to go to the Hindu Kush, and you're going to go to Balad, and you're going to go to Ramadi, and you're going to go to Fallujah, and you got to wear heavy equipment, and you got to carry a lot of stuff. So it changed, and I don't know what's going to happen now that we're changing, and Admiral Howard, rightfully so, is going back into strategic competition, great power competition, and putting the community back into a maritime focus.
Mm-hmm. Get those wetsuits ready, boys. Absolutely. Did you, it's interesting, people always ask who's going to make it through, and I would never put a bet on anybody one way or the other of who's going to make it through or not. I don't care where they came from, what their background was. I remember one of my commanding officers, Captain O'Connell, he told this story to me, and I never forgot it. There was some officer that was put in a package to go to buds, and he said, I've never backed anyone before. I've never backed anyone. I've never said this guy's gonna make it. And this guy had this pristine record. He was an athlete, he was captain of that, he was all these things. He spoke 2 languages, maybe even 3 languages, just a complete stud. And finally O'Connell, signs off his package and says, yeah, take this guy to buds. And the freaking guy quit on him. And he said, I will never, ever back anybody again. And to me, that was a captain that had been in the teams forever and denied all these packages. And even with that level of discretion, you can't tell who's going to make it and who's not going to make it.
Oh, there's Jim O'Connell?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you really can't. And because you really don't know what's going on behind the eyes. So we've got members who are on the national teams, whether it's the national swimming team, these are very accomplished people, Division I athletes. But the other thing as well, you get some kid that comes out of high school, goes to boot camp, did intramural sports, and he's standing tall on graduation day.
That's me. 100%. And I had an Olympic alternate gymnast in my buds class, quit, and I had the NCAA water polo team captain in my class, quit.
Yeah.
And like I was that guy that I was an average, if not slightly below average athlete in high school, and hey, stuck it out. They weren't going to make me quit. That's the way it is.
Yeah.